Out on song. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Board of Adjustments, October 23rd, 2012 meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Roll call of members. My name is Brad Walker. I'm Chairman and President. Mr. Jim Cecil.
Present.
Kathy Desideer. Absent. Mr. Bill Lee.
Present.
Mr. Steve McGowan.
Present.
Mr. Mike Bro.
Present.
Mr. Willie Robinson. Not present. All right, at this time, I'd like to open it up to public comment period. If anybody has anything to say for or against the Board of Adjustments, please come forward. If you have to speak on an agenda item tonight, please wait for that agenda item and you'll get your chance to speak. Anybody want to speak for or against the Board of Adjustment?
They're all jumping up.
Okay. Closing public comment period. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the September 25th, 2012 meeting?
I make a motion.
A second.
Motion by Mr. Bill Lee, second by Mr. Jim Cecil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I hear a motion to accept the written decisions of September 25th, 2012.
Bill?
I move we do that.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Bill Lee, second by Mr. Jim Cecil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll move to our first variance.
Okay.
Zoning Review ID 2263.12, Track A, 3B of the Ted A. Wax property for Christina Wax Gallery, located on the east side of White Road, approximately 5,000 feet north of LA Highway 73. Is somebody here to present? Tell us what you're trying to do and what's your hardship.
I want to request a variance to remove the 12.5-foot building line that comes off of the 40-foot access servitude. I want to build a house and have no room to do it.
Okay, do I have any questions by the board?
Yes, you said you're in the process of purchasing a modular home.
Yeah.
Is that to replace the mobile home?
Yes, sir.
The mobile home will go in the modular home?
Correct. Yeah, you
Okay.
can't fit both of those.
Okay. And will the modular home go in the same place the mobile home is now?
No, sir. It'll go facing White Road. The front door will face White Road. So the width is the problem, where the 40-foot and the 12.5 is coming.
Okay. Okay. Facing this way.
The opposite way.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else any questions? Okay, if you have a seat, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody has anything to say for or against this variance, please come forward. Okay, nobody coming forward. We'll go ahead and close public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
I move we accept the variance as requested.
I'll second that.
That was Mike, Mr. Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a motion to accept as written by Mr. Bill Lee, second by Mr. Mike Bro. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. Second zoning review ID, 2264.12, Lot 12, Ascension Industrialplex for LG Jones,
This one.
located on the west side of the Industrialplex Avenue, approximately 950 feet north of LA Highway 30. I want you to let us know what you're trying to do and what's your hardship.
We're trying to build a 50 by 125-foot building on the end of the 12A2, I think is what it will be. And the corner of the buildings will stick into the servitude with a 10-foot northern property line. We're asking for a 5-foot variance on the on the southern side of the building to 5 feet so we can fit the building. Originally, we needed a variance on the corner, on the northwest corner, but we removed the canopy from the building on the last 25 feet, so we wouldn't have to ask for that.
Okay, any questions?
I have no questions.
No, I don't. Any questions?
I think so.
Okay. Give us a sec. We'll open it to public hearing. If anybody would like to say anything for or against this zoning request, please come forward. Okay. Close public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to go ahead and make the motion to accept as written.
Second.
Okay. I have a Motion by Mr. Jim Cecil to accept as written, second by Mr. Stephen McGowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passed. Okay, zoning review, next zoning review ID, 2265.12, lot 543A, The Greens, first filing, part 1 for Doug Diaz, located on the south side of Courtyard Drive, approximately 60 feet west of Greens Park Drive. Somebody here to represent this? Please come state what you're trying to do and the hardship.
Yeah, we're requesting a 5-foot variance on the rear setback on the lot. That way we can build a house on there that's in accordance with the rest of the houses in that subdivision. Looking at the two houses, the one to the right and the one to the left, you'll notice that the setbacks on those are under the 20-foot setback on the rear of it. David. I have an aerial map overview if you'd like to look at it.
Go ahead and put that up.
Please.
What's behind this lot?
That's the rear servitude, and there's a fence that runs right along it.
That's right.
Can you see what I'm talking about?
Okay.
So the property line's at the end of the shadow? Is that a shadow now?
Yeah,
And then the fence is
The
the
fence
dark, there's a ditch and then a fence?
correct.
And you're looking for a back variance?
Yeah, back variance. There's already been a variance on the front of the property to allow these houses. It was never, that was approved across, the whole greens area, but it was never done on the rear of it, so they've had to do each lot individually.
And the side lots have already have a variance?
Yes, I think the Whitmere house is sitting at around 13'7", and the Barre house is falling in at 15 foot.
And basically the hardship here is you'd have to build a smaller house.
And it wouldn't match the houses in that area. We pretty much have to just redesign a whole style house in there. This house is pretty much the same house that we've put in throughout the neighborhood.
Okay, you brought up a point there. You mean you're gonna have a different style house compared to what the houses on each side is?
No, it'll be the same, along that same line of that style of a house. To be able to get a house to fit in there, you'd have to shrink the overall square footage and completely redesign a different style of a home, which is something that we don't have in there. If you look on that whole side down there, if you go farther to the side, there's a set of townhomes that are even under that variance.
Okay.
And this is the last lot for us
the last
on that side.
It's the last one.
Right.
I think in the past, we probably did the variance for the whole lot, and then we stopped doing the streets, full streets, and that's when the individuals come up.
That's when you came before us and did the front section, is that correct?
Okay.
Well, I have no further questions.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, have a seat.
Thank you.
Opening this up for public hearing. Anybody want to say anything for or against? Come on, sign in right real quick. Where's the sign-in sheet?
My name is Beverly Barre, and I live at 5412 Courtyard Drive, which is lot 542A, which is next to this property. I have no objections to this variance at all. The only concern I would have is the fence in the back of the property was blown down during Hurricane Isaac, and the developer has agreed to replace that fence before the house is built. That's the only problem I had. And, if there would be a drainage problem with the building of this house, they've also agreed that they would take care of that at a later date. So I am completely agreeable to this variance.
Well, I noticed between your house and the house they're trying to build, there's an extra servitude in between.
No, not,
Must be the other one. 5412, no, that's right.
There's two lines.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's probably going to be a bigger distance between your house and the
yes,
house that's going to be
it'll
built.
probably, I think it's 10 or 12.
10 feet?
10 feet difference. And that's where I'm afraid there may be a drainage problem. And he
Okay.
agreed, the developer has agreed to do something about that for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
You signed in?
Yes, I signed in. My name is Ron Whitmer, and with my wife Marty, we live on the west side of the lot where the proposed house is to be built. And we also have no objections to the variance that is being requested. And what Beverly identified as an issue in terms of the fence, we also are aware of that is to be rebuilt prior to the building of the house, and that should any drainage issue arise, that it will be taken up, at the point in which we identify that there is a drainage problem.
The only thing I would recommend is y'all have that in writing from the developer.
We have been
because
informed.
what we do is not going to affect either one of those
No, I know.
issues.
We have been informed that it will be put in writing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I failed to mention one of our other neighbors who was not able to be here, that lives next door to Ron. His name is Chris Guidry, and he is at 5396 Courtyard Drive, and he has no objections to this variance.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Closing public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, go ahead, that's, to accept as written, and reason being is a reasonable use of the land.
I'll second.
Mike. Okay. I got a motion by Mr. Jim Cecil, second by Mr. Mike Brew. All those to approve as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Next zoning review ID is 2259.12, Lot 60 of Country Ridge Subdivision, second filing for Robert Baptiste, located on Brew Road, approximately 800 feet north of Germany Road. Somebody here? Go ahead and state what you're trying to do and what hardship you got.
Yeah, I was just requesting, I wanted to put another mobile home behind the one I have for my mom.
Where would the mobile home go?
On the back side of the property. It'd be about 20 feet from 20 feet off the back side of the property.
Okay. Well, somewhere here.
So your home faces Bro Road, you want to put it behind?
Yeah,
Directly behind. Okay.
So the trailer, right here, right now,
Behind it.
behind here.
Yeah.
And he faces Bro Road.
Now, to access this trailer, you would just extend your driveway further back?
Yeah, I just extend this driveway past my house, far the back.
Okay. How close would it be from your back property line, and then also between your trailer and that trailer?
Should be 20 feet from the property line on the back side, and then in between me and her trailer is about another 15 to 20 feet.
Is there a reason you're moving your mother in? Is she sick or?
Yeah, she's elder. She's 70 years old, and right now she stay with me, but she at that point they have to be able to, have her own place.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
I have,
Okay. Have a seat. We'll have public hearing. If anybody has anything to say for or against this zoning, please come forward. All right. Closing public comment period. Do I hear a motion?
You're putting in another sewer
Come see.
system. I'm sorry. You are putting in another sewer system, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is gonna be independent from the home that's already on
Yeah,
the property.
it'll be a separate sewer system.
Okay.
Now on the map that we have, there's 2 addresses already assigned to that block.
I know
What's
that.
the other address?
That address was what it was, where I was gonna put the second mobile home at.
Is it? I see 15083 and then 15085.
Yeah, that's just an address that's in there. Mr. Bishop's probably correct in saying that at one time maybe he requested a address and it's still in the system.
Okay.
That's all that is. It doesn't mean that something's there already. It just means that there's an address there.
Okay. 2 mailboxes.
Is there a time frame that you're looking for this? On how long that trailer would be there?
I guess that depends how long Mom will still be here.
Okay. And justifiably so, but in the past, we've always approved for secondary residence, but we've also made a condition to that. And every one we have approved, I'm going to tell you what it is right now, and I want to see if you're for it or against.
Okay.
Okay, 1, it never becomes a rental site.
Okay.
In other words, if your mom passes away, then that trailer's got to go too.
Okay.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Understand.
Because what happens in the past, happened to us in the past, people would put a trailer on a piece of property and all of a sudden, hey, it becomes for rent. And we don't give variances for that.
Yes, okay.
So you do agree
Yeah,
with that?
they had told me that when I went out there and talked to him.
Such a motion?
I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to approve with the condition that this trailer never becomes a piece of rental property. And on her passing, which I hope is not soon, that the trailer be removed.
I'll second that.
All right, got a motion with the conditions that it cannot be a rental property and also has to be removed after the family member is no longer in the residence. Motion by Mr. Jim Cecil, second by Mr. Bill Lee. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay. Next zoning review ID, 2262.12, Lot 4A of the Rebecca Riley property for Rebecca Riley, located on the northwest corner of Beco Road and Rivas Sheet Road. Somebody here?
Yes. Clint Quintmall, representing WJ Quintmall Surveyors. Asking for the adjustment for the area of the right-of-way and for the calculation of the lot, as well as the rear setback of 11 feet. You can see on the north side of the property is the shed and the 20-foot rear setback, an existing non-conforming. So I'm going to ask for a variance of that too.
What's the hardship?
Hardship is that it's a corner lot, and you can tell that the area of the lots meet the zoning, although striking out the right-of-way they would not. But they do meet the zoning if the area of the right-of-way. And of course, all corner lots, have that stipulation where you have double right-of-ways into those lots. And obviously, Jervis Sheets Road is completely on that lot instead of splitting it half and half.
Is the shed a separate, it's a separate variance, right? I mean,
Yes, two,
somewhat.
yes, two variances. One is the area of the right-of-way to be included in the calculation of the lot, and then the setback of 11 feet.
Okay.
So you're trying to make it where if somebody builds some on A4B, it's gonna be built toward, Sheets Road, Jarvis Street Road, and not Beco Road?
I didn't consider that to be which way a structure would be built. It's just we, calculation of lot. After the lot's created under the central division rules, I didn't have any stipulations on which way
Okay.
a structure would front.
Has construction started on this yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any other questions? Okay, have a seat. If anybody has anything for or against, this variance, please come forward and sign in. Which there should, because if, members would also look at the back of their packet, there are some people that are against this, that do not agree to have any changes in the zone of this property. And there's about 13 signed.
Let's explain why.
Okay.
Hey, my name is Rebecca Riley. I'm the owner of this property, and I just basically wanted to state my intention for the property. I purchased it approximately 4 years ago independently. I have 2 children, divorced, and basically upon purchase of the property, my sole intention initially was to get the property split one day when I was financially able to be able to build on the front half of the land. I was unaware of the right-of-ways and the variances and all of those things basically inhibiting that from occurring or getting the lot split. As I had stated, I do have 2 children, and I'm in the process of refinancing my home now. And in order for me to build on it in years to come, I would have to have the front free and clear of mortgage. So I was told that it would be in my best interest to go ahead and get the property split now while I'm in the refinancing process instead of later. And then ultimately, my intention is to have, 2 pieces of land for both of my children.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Next person.
Hello. My name is Jamie Rowe, and I'm here as a spokesperson for the petitioners who have, which are the 14 families surrounding that property. And the petition has been submitted in your package that y'all have there. They are opposing this variance because several reasons. It does not meet the requirements, and Rebecca has stated to others that of the petitioners that her intention was to make this rental property, and there was nothing ever said about this being subdivided for it to be her to build on or anything like that. All other lots on the road are 1+ acres, and they're all single-family residences. And if you look at any of the prior meetings, this has been proposed to be subdivided before, and it has been opposed.
Okay. Any questions?
So basically, this to change the complexion of the neighborhood.
I'm
This
sorry?
would change the complexion of the neighborhood.
Yes, it would.
What is it, 14 people? Yes. Did you say you're representing all 14 people?
Yes. They have signed a petition and asked that I just speak on their behalf.
Is the main thing that you're against is the rental property?
That's what the intention was stated to them, that's what she intended to do with it, and they do oppose that.
So if there's a stipulation of not being able to rent that mobile home?
Would that satisfy?
We did not.
If it is intended that it's definitely stipulated that we only do family.
I would see no need for a subdivision of it because you can legally build on the home if you remove the trailer and it stay a single property and uniform with the rest of the neighborhood.
And so right now the zoning's minimum 1 acre?
Minimum is in a rural district is a half acre, 20,000 square feet.
So the lots are still a half acre.
If you include the right of way.
Including the right of way, it's a half acre.
And the right of ways go to the center of the road or the
No, the actual
side
right,
of the road?
no, this lot actually goes to the other side of the right of way. This lot encompasses the whole right of way of Sheets Road, Grevis Sheets Road.
So the whole road is in the actual property?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, that happens because the road came after the...
Yes, sir, correct, yes. It was a private, and then it got
I'm
taken
a little
in.
slow, but I'll get there.
And the previous owner of the property who sold Rebecca this property is the one who requested the variance also. That was denied.
No.
Yeah, there is a mobile home already
Yeah,
there.
let's see, I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you a question, if you don't mind, step back up. Alright, I don't like he said, she said stuff, okay?
Neither do I, and
Okay.
I can set the record
Alright,
straight
I
for
want you
you.
to do that for me, I want you to set the record straight.
Okay.
Are you, or are you not planning?
No, I have no intention on making this a rental property.
Did you ever mention that to anybody?
I had walked across the street and talked to my neighbor, Gabe Young. I haven't spoken to anyone else regarding this situation. I didn't necessarily feel like it was mandatory or I was obligated to discuss my proprietary decisions with my neighbors. So Gabe and I actually are probably the only neighbors that really have any sort of speaking relationship. So on the day that that the survey flags had appeared on my property, I returned home from work and walked across the street to explain why I had pink flags in my yard, just knowing how the chitter-chatter goes up and down my street, that there would be questions arising from that. I then stated to Gabe that I was trying to refinance my house. They had kind of been sitting on the back porch hanging out all day. And basically, he was like, well, you're not planning on moving, are you? So I said that I had no intention on moving. I told him that, I wanted to build a house on the front of the lot, same as I've said for the past 4 years that I've lived there. And he said, well, then what are you going to do with your trailer? So I told him that I would like to keep it for my kids. And he said, well, if you ever rent it out, you need to rent it out to me for my daughter, because she's 16 years old, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So it never came out of my mouth that it was my intention for this to be a rental property. I have 2 children. At the time that I would be able to build a home, they would more than likely be old enough to live there, or I personally just worked my rear off to get this property. I don't necessarily want to just let it go, given the family members that could benefit from it still being there upon my building my own home.
Because I am an advocate for keeping the neighborhood all in line.
Yes, sir, and I absolutely agree with what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from. And at this point, I feel as though I'm sort of being a little bit bullied here or discriminated against. Basically, not by you all, by my neighbors. You all have been fantastic in listening to what I have to say, and I really appreciate y'all giving me this opportunity. But my home is currently surrounded by rental properties owned by the Wagastacks, Mr. Danny LeBlanc. Several other rental properties exist in this area. So I'm not real sure what the difference is between me trying to live here and create a place for my family to live and other people having rental homes here that they have nothing to say about.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Tax map, you want to take a look at it?
Mhm.
Yeah, by all means.
Please.
Okay. Here's the subject property, as you can tell, right south. It's been subdivided. It's actually a smaller lot than our original lot. I want to talk about what's consistent. Just wanted to point that out, that lot's been subdivided in half. I do not have that plat with me, but obviously tax map show that in relationship to size.
Where's that little street at? You see the Beaker
Fully
Road,
on Rebecca. The entire Gerber sheet is fully on Rebecca.
but does it go back past like that little berm?
I have the original plat from which those lots were created.
So it goes all the way back to Amy Smith
This is
property?
the original division of property, if I can get it all on there. Here's, let me see, I don't want to try to get it upside down here. All right, here's the subject property. As you can tell, we have half a beco on the lot here, as well as the total 40-foot on the subject property here, and then this, of course, the road continues through these lots here.
That's a dead-end street? It ends? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think it was on a church.
Okay. One more person to speak.
Good evening. My name is Tara Dixon. I'm a resident and homeowner in the back of the property. I'm at the dead end. I've never had a dispute with Rebecca, and I truly understand what she may be trying to do for her children in the future because I have two sons myself. We do have renter property in the area that was there prior to us moving in, which of course I would have opposed from the beginning. The rental setting, of course, we're looking at a whole different avenue in lifestyle, and that's not acceptable. I have no problem if she wants to build a home there, live there forever, or sell it. But to subdivide and do a half acre and a half acre when we all have these big properties and the value and the setting that we have, it only depreciates what we're doing, and the next thing you know, the next neighbor is going to start chopping their property up and then then we're going to have basically a trailer park or a mini subdivision, which we bought this property to stay out of. We have 2+ acre tracts, and we would like to keep our neighborhood, our subdivision, intact, is basically it. Like I said, I have no dispute with this little girl at all. It's strictly homeowner situation. And definitely rental, which I wish we could do something about the rental property that's there already, because we have a lot of problems, and we're just trying to stop it. And so that's basically it. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. Anybody else want to speak?
Please.
All right. Closing public comment period. Questions? Discussion?
So, could she build a house without subdividing?
She could, but if it's for two people, it's still got to get a variance for two people.
Okay. What's rural? See, it says rural here and medium intensity up here. So.
It is on rural, acres on, map is on rural, the paper is written up as, medium intensity residential, which is wrong according to the official map published on October 1st.
Okay.
It's rural.
It is?
Super acre.
It's still, it's half an acre?
Yeah, 20,000 square feet per lot. 100 feet of road frontage.
So it'd still meet that with the right-of-ways. But that, to me, would be the hardship, is that the whole road is in the property.
That's the problem. The whole road
Is being counted.
Half of one road and the whole road on the other.
Yeah, being counted as.
You could always put the stipulation on no rental. Would solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would make the 14 people, if I'm correct. Happy, I think that's the problem with the 14 people that they think it's going to become rental property. She's saying it's not becoming rental property, but we can make the stipulation, and however y'all want to do it, but we can make the stipulation that it does not become rental property.
Never, yeah.
I mean, I just made a stipulation prior to this about that trailer not becoming rental property, so there's no reason why we can't, where my counsel go, there's no reason why we can't make a stipulation, if you would agree to that.
And no matter how we do it, if she wants to put a house on it, she's got to have a variance to move the lines.
She's got to do it anyhow.
Otherwise, you just one long thing, and the only thing you can fit on it is a mobile home.
Exactly.
Because you can see right here where she has the current mobile home and a 35-foot bill line.
And she plans to live there for...
And the back bill line, the only thing you can put is a mobile home between these two.
Right.
So even if this was one lot, that 35 would be all the way across.
Oh, right.
You see, so they'd still have to get a variance to come back down this way,
Okay.
no matter what we do.
Right.
It's just not,
In other words,
it's her preference to split the lot.
Yeah.
You know, whether she needs a whole lot or not, we would still have to give her a variance to put a house on it. Otherwise, the only thing you can do is put a mobile home on it.
Okay.
The streets.
She's got to come before us again anyhow if she did any different.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do I hear anything? Motion?
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion with the stipulation to accept as written, with the stipulation that, and she's in agreement to, that this does not at any time become rental property. Okay, now, you know, if you do make it rental property, you lose your variance. Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Excuse me, for clarification, so you are allowing the subdivision of property,
Yes.
and how would you know if there is rental property?
Come back up to the mic, please.
So y'all are allowing the subdivision of the property,
Correct.
and how would you know if if it becomes rental property? Just to the petitioners?
You will tell us.
No,
14 people.
9 times out of 10, you won't come right back and tell
You
us.
will tell us.
No, the only thing that you have is, you have the ability then to know that if it is rental property and can be approved as rental property, then there is no variance, so therefore the parish can sue that resident or to have that removed. There is no enforcement, so it relies on the area, and it gives the neighbors the tool that they need to enforce whatever we put in place as a stipulation.
Okay.
And I think it satisfies the 14 people that you have on your list. I think it satisfies them, because I think the biggest worry is
It's
the
a rental
rental
property,
property.
More
correct.
than that.
Yeah.
Right. Even if she does, I mean, it's her preference on subdividing or not, but even if she didn't subdivide it, we'd still have to give her a variance to be able to build a house. Otherwise,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
can only have a mobile home on that lot.
Right.
Because of that corner, and the majority of the property is in the road.
Right.
And so, that's what we're saying now, it's just her personal preference to split that lot. It still meets the half acre, you know, of what the zone calls for in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 homes can be put on that property. It's more likely now that front property can have a house on it than having to put a mobile home. If we didn't allow the variance and she still could split it in half, then it would just be another mobile home on the front. Right, that's what we're allowing. We're trying to allow that she have a house by allowing the setbacks and all that type stuff with this variance. The trailer can stay there.
Yes, ma'am.
Trailer's already there.
It just cannot be a rental property, but she can use it for one of her kids and something like that, but she cannot rent it. Or whenever. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So how, I mean, this still defeats the purpose of splitting the property to a little piece, is what we're trying to say. In our area, we have larger properties, so all of us can then subdivide to little chunks if we have the road frontage, is what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am. That is your right.
Okay.
It is the
But-
property owner's right to do that.
Okay, so only, and now all of us can have restrictions, is that what you're saying, that everyone will have those restrictions as well?
If there is the hardship, yes. Right now, if you own a big enough piece of property, you can split that property however
Correct,
its own
which I
calls
know
for.
that for
Yeah.
sure,
The
okay.
issue that she's having is that there's too much road in her property, so it's not allowing her to do anything with it.
Correct,
You know,
and
so-
I'm all for that, so that she can do what she needs to do and not rent, which, like I said, we're surrounded by the renters now, so.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay?
Public comment period.
Yeah, I know. All right, I have a motion by Mr. Jim Cecil. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Bill Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes, with the exception of no rental property. Cannot be a rental property. Any old business? Nope. Any new business?
Nope.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Stephen McGowan,
Second.
second by Mr. Jim Cecil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We are adjourned.